Vusi, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Let's talk about firstly this small village in Port St. John's where 40 people have tested positive. We know that this village is, or these people are connected to that infamous Mabuyane village funeral which took place on March 21.
Good morning. Yes, they are. What the province is doing is going out to find people that could be infected through the spread of the virus. So what has happened was the provincial government went to Mabuyane and tested a number of people. About 500 people in that village were tested. And officials are on the ground giving feedback results, that is, to the people that were tested. And the Premier did speak to the mayors of OR Tambo and Port St. John's, as well as law enforcement agencies, to ensure that they assist the Department of Public Works and Department of Health in accommodating the people that had tested positive to the local facilities that are owned by the state, so that they are isolated, they are not able to further spread the virus in the village.
But reports coming out, as early as yesterday, we got people saying that some of those people who tested positive don't seem to care. They're freely walking around. Are those true?
That is why the Premier has assigned the law enforcement, the Department of Health and Public Works, to ensure that they assist those people that cannot quarantine or self-isolate in their families. Because what is happening in the province is there are a number of people that are unable to isolate or quarantine in their homes. That is why we have identified quite a number of facilities, state-owned facilities, hospitals, nurses' homes, and nature reserves, where these people from Port St. John's, from Mabuyane, for instance, are going to be isolated, accommodated for a period of 14 days, where we're going to have health officials taking their temperature, checking if they're still okay. Those that need attention will be transferred to hospitals, or a doctor would come where they are to be able to attend to them.
Okay, there's also reports that there were 6 members of a family who tested positive from COVID-19 after attending that Mabuyane funeral as well. Talk to us about the problem and issues with funerals, because even after that particular funeral, 2 other funerals took place and they were problematic.
That is why the Premier has been saying when we are dealing with funerals, we need to reduce any possible events or activities that are going to give us a further infection spread. Because it's not on the day of the funeral only that we get problems. It's on the days leading to the funerals, where people are going to the family of the deceased to pray and to support the family, where they get closer to each other, they share meals, they make use of the same utensils, cups, coffee, and all for coffee, tea, and all that. And when the village men are digging graves, so that interaction is what gives us problems. And one of the things that we have seen now is there are people who are trying to avoid support that government is giving them. Because when you bury, or when a family buries a person who has died, unfortunately, of COVID-19, they are not supposed to do the rituals of opening the coffin for the family to see the deceased. They are supposed to take the deceased from the mortuary straight to the graveside, so that it could minimize any possible problems that we can have out of that. And government has called on the people of the province not to prepare meals for funerals, to make sure that when there is digging, there are precautionary measures, there is hand washing, there are sanitizers there. And heads of the families are being asked to take responsibility, because unfortunately government cannot be in every digging of graves. That is why we're appealing to the people of the province to say, as responsible elders, as responsible heads of families, let's work together, minimize the spread, so that when we bury the ones that have departed, we don't infect others who will then have to follow, unfortunately, if we don't cut the spread of this infection.
Mvusi, last one from me and a quick one. Have you communicated effectively with the people in the rural areas? Because all of this is taking place in the rural areas and it's a big concern. Have you communicated with them effectively and properly?
We've been going, placing educational material since March on 22 community radio stations. Mabuyane, which has got 5.8 million listeners. BATV, which has got 1.4. So the millions of the people which you are reaching on social media also, we have been giving regular information, educating them about the do's and don'ts, the reasons why they should stay at home. And it's a matter of people rebelling against the work that government is putting out there. And some of the things that we have seen is when people go to town, for instance, to buy food, as it is allowed, there is a problem where some of them stay after 10 o'clock. They are unable to move. They stay in the ranks, and that because they are squashed in those taxi ranks and in some of the waiting areas, it creates a big problem for us. That is why the Premier has spoken to national government to say, let's consider a situation where all those that come in before 10 are transported back to their homes, and we lock the towns for anyone who wants to come in after 10 o'clock. The province is improving mass screening, and we've screened about close to 500,000 now. And the testing that has been done is giving us numbers. So the team that is coming from national to support the province at the request of the provincial government is helping us to deal with tracing, bringing in technology and data management, bringing in dealing with the epidemiological side of things, so that we are able to get to as many people as possible. Minister Mkhize, which the province appreciates, is bringing in more testing vehicles so that we go out to as many people as possible. Yeah. The Premier and the leadership of government wants to appeal to the people of the province to stay at home, prevent the spread of virus, wash your hands, don't do anything that is against the regulations. Respect the law enforcement. Do this to save your life and the lives of those that you love, especially your family and your neighbors.
All right. Thank you so much for speaking with us. We were talking about the Eastern Cape, where a reported 40 people in a village in Port St. John's tested positive of coronavirus.